Hi, let's talk about UNS. I get this question a lot. So let's get through an executive summary. I'll try to make this really, really short. Most manufacturers we meet try to grow by adding automation, a lot of robots, PLCs, etc. And that's fair. More automation is needed, especially with a lot of the labor challenges that we have today. However, they still find themselves buried in a lot of spreadsheets and pieces of paper. We find the disconnect between the ERP system up here and the hardworking people and all the automation that is added. And they're buried in those disconnected systems. A lot of other situations too, where companies will take a lot of the systems they have, the automation, as well as all of the data systems that are in the IT and OT environment, and create discrete connections between them, which is the nature of making connections when you didn't know any better. And that's okay for the past, but not today. We need a better way. This ends up creating data silos. They're very expensive to maintain. They don't provide real-time visibility across all those systems, and you end up having limited control of production. And also, a lot of teams, a lot of people are very frustrated because they don't have the data that they need to get stuff done, to solve problems, get the product out the door with better quality in better time. So it ends up blocking growth of the company, the predictability, the efficiency, and it often will also prevent AI projects from succeeding. They will fail because they don't have the right data foundation. They don't have that good modeling at the edge. There's all kinds of problems with this kind of process. What we want to do is to really strive for digital maturity. Digital maturity for us is the ability to turn raw data in the plant and around the enterprise into business outcomes like labor efficiency, predictable production, ROA, return on assets, to get the insights out of that data. So that means then we need to create fully integrated digital factories. Everything and everyone's plugged into the network. Everything this slide says is necessary. We need to reach this kind of holy grail of digital maturity. The pieces of the puzzle to do that, you need a digital strategy, you need some minimum technical requirements, you need an approach to do this. Standards for how to exchange the data, principles, best practices, leadership buys in, culture, change management, all those kinds of things. What we really need is an approach to be able to do this. So we need an approach that decouples the data systems such that they're not connected discretely, but that they are also able to be connected and exchange the data. So decouple, but still enable exchange of data so that we can connect those data silos and then be able to use some standards for how we connect and how we contextualize that data and make the systems flexible and scalable. This is a hub and spoke system. This is an event-driven system for how to connect things together. We need to connect to the machines and the data systems and then model the data at the edge, whether we're connecting to PLCs or robots or the PLM or the ERP or the MES or the SCADA, et cetera. We need to model that data at the edge and then put it in a context of a semantic hierarchy. And then from there, we'll apply standards for organizing the data, like the ISA 95 standard enterprise site area line cell to contextualize it. And then at that point, once we have this structure set up, we can allow any other system to have access to that data. And a lot of systems need access to that data. Often what companies will do is to put a single machine monitoring system in place that will only connect to the machines and give you a few pretty dashboards. That's valuable for a company that only needs that. But typically we find companies that run into this glass ceiling, they run into that ceiling and can't go any further. Oh, they want to connect the ERP. Okay, yeah, we'll give you work orders, maybe a little bit of scheduling, but that's it. Most of those other systems that are what I think of as the machine monitoring category, that's it. And that is awesome for the companies that need it. But if they need more, they want to start to engage and integrate a whole bunch of other systems, we need a better architecture. We need a better approach. So with the UNS, companies can gain real-time visibility faster root cause analysis, more predictable operations, better ROI, often 10 to 15% on pretty much any kind of effort you start with, using these kinds of approaches, principles, and get the improvement in quality, production, downtime that's needed. How do you go forward with this? Start small. Get an assessment to understand the current state and create a roadmap around this. Then start to lay the bricks for the UNS foundation. Get that digital strategy in place. Get that architecture in place. Start the education around how this stuff works. What are the best practices? What are the standards? Start to think about change management practices. Then you start to connect those data silos, connect those systems. Now that we've disconnected them or decoupled them, let's now connect them into this one universal system, if you will, into this ecosystem, and then you start to scale. And at that point, you end up being able to avoid the lock-in, avoid the wasted effort on those discrete connected systems, and build your systems and your connectivity across your line, across your plant, and across your whole organization, one step at a time towards that digital maturity. If this is something you're ready for, give us a call. Happy to explain more. Talk soon.